Yes, let's begin human health and disease. So, the human health and disease, the topics to be discussed here, the common infectious diseases in man like bacterial, viral, protozoan, helminth and fungal diseases, then immunity and immune system, that AIDS, transmission, life cycle of HIV and prevention, the cancer, types, causes, diagnosis, treatment, the drugs, types and effects, smoking, effects and health problems, alcohol abuse, and that means the types and effects of alcohol abuse, then anabolic steroid abuse, types and effects, adolescents and drugs. The most common topic, that's why we say most happening topic here in case of need examination, which is more related to the society. So that's why we can expect more number of questions from this particular area. That in this, the detailed explanation of immunity and immune system, we are going now actually in brief. The detailed explanation of immunity and immune system and detailed explanation of common infectious diseases in man, like bacterial, viral, protozoan, health, and fungal diseases. That a separate video is there, which the 1 hour video is there, the list of parasites explaining, just giving the names and symptoms of the parasite. Actually, I have to upload yesterday, that I'll upload today. And immunity and immune system videos are available in the blog. If you click the link, you will go there. The cancer biology video is available. Then today TDA abuse video also in detail. That the TDA abuse, that video also, and anabolic steroid abuse. So all these particular videos are going to be posted over that today in the blog. And first of all, let us see in the brief. If you want any of the topic for the complete explanation, that means detailed explanation, you can go through. But I suggest here you people need to see the immunity and immune system in detail. That is very important. Means the going towards the immune system will be stepwise is very important there. So that means for that you have to spend some 9 videos are there. Each video takes 10 minutes time. But after all the completion of watching all the videos, I'll give guarantee here any kind of question from immune system you're going to answer. Okay, let's start the human health and disease in brief. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. The health is affected by genetic disorders, infections, change in lifestyle, like food, water, rest, exercise, habits, all these are going to affect the health. So some of the common infections, infectious diseases in case of human being that we need to discuss. Let us discuss the common infectious diseases of human being. That the first of all, the bacterial diseases we need to go through. The bacterial diseases like typhoid. Then here the very important thing here, the particular disease caused by whom? Any bacterial, viral, protozoan, helminth, in any kind of diseases, that we need to discuss that who is the causative, the first thing, and what is the mode of transmission. Then nowadays symptoms are also going to be asked in examination. Okay, so that's why you please go for every parasite, whether you know the causative or whether you know the mode of transmission, or and whether you know the symptoms of that particular, that you need to go for. Okay, Ishwar, switch off your video. Pathogen, Salmonella typhi. The bacteria, the pathogen for typhoid is Salmonella typhi. Mode of transmission through the food and water that enters into the small intestine and into the blood and to the other organs. That we say simply mode of transmission as contamination, contaminated food. That we need to correlate with in Entamoeba histolytic amoebic dysentery, a protozoan parasite that also spread through the contamination. Like with Ascaris lumbricoides, a nematode parasite, a helminth parasite, which also going to transmit through a method called contamination. So likewise, while reading that you need to correlate like this, because the common that these kind of common type questions also are going to get. Okay, let's complete the typhoid. The typhoid pathogen is Salmonella typhi. The mode of transmission, the food and water, and from there it will enter into the small intestine, then to the blood and to the other organs. Symptoms like sustained high fever, 39 degrees to 40 degrees centigrade, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, and loss of appetite, and intestinal perforation, and finally, even death may occur here in this particular case. That very important thing to remember here. How do we confirm the typhoid test? Vital test. We confirm the typhoid test is vital test. We get the question like vital test is used for in that way. Let's come to the second one, pneumonia. Pathogen is Streptococcus pneumoniae or Haemophilus influenza. Pathogen, Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza. Mode of transmission. The inhaling droplets or aerosols released by an infected person sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person. Inhaling droplets, aerosols released by an infected person sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person. Yes, and symptoms, fluid-filled lung alveoli leading to respiratory problems. Along with that, fever, chills, cough, headache will come here. So pneumonia is a lung disorder that you need to remember, lung related to the lungs. Then severe cases, this is very important. In case of pneumonia, this sentence is very important. Lips and fingernails turn gray to bluish in color. Lips and fingernails turn gray to bluish in color. Viral diseases, common cold. Bacterial diseases were completed, typhoid and pneumonia. Typhoid causative is Salmonella typhi, and pneumonia, the causative is Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza. Now we are moving to the viral diseases. That in that the very famous and regular disease, the common cold, we say that it's there in the name, common cold, that rhinoviruses groups are going to cause this particular pathogen, rhinovirus. Then group of viruses. It's not a single one actually. That's why it is very difficult to prepare vaccine against this kind of things. Inhaling droplets resulting from cough or sneezes through contaminated object. What to remember? Everyone may face the cold. The symptoms, everyone will know themselves. Infect the nose and respiratory tract. Very important. It doesn't affect lungs. We said in pneumonia, it affects lungs. Here, there is no lungs. Nose and respiratory tract. Up to tract only. It won't reach towards the lungs. Symptoms, nasal congestion and discharge, cough, sore throat, hoarseness, fever sometimes, headache, tiredness. It lasts for 3 to 7 days. As we know that particular joke, if you use medicine, common cold will go in 1 week. That if you don't use medicine, it will go in 7 days. That means a very common disorder. Every season, people will get this kind of disease. Now, let's move towards the protozoan diseases, malaria. The pathogen is Plasmodium species like Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium falciparum, and mode of transmission. Anopheles, the vector, female Anopheles mosquito. That female Anopheles mosquito is having the habit of sucking blood from the human being. So when it sucks the blood from the patient, the stages will enter into the mosquito, and when it bites the normal man, that particular stages after completing sexual reproduction, that whatever sporozoites are formed will enter into the human being. The symptoms here, the hemojoin causes chill and high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days. That depends on that particular parasite. But we say Plasmodium vivax as benign tertian malaria. Tertian, that means it will come on third day. If you come for Plasmodium malariae, that is called quartan malaria. That means every 4th day fever will come. Okay, so the life cycle of Plasmodium, let's take a brief. We don't have the Plasmodium life cycle like what we have in state textbook. It's just a brief information. Human Health and Disease chapter, while reading in NCRT, you need to change your angle. That angle of change is very important here. That's why, because the Human Health and Disease chapter, we are not at all going for the complete details like the state textbook. You may have the Plasmodium life cycle full in detail, isn't it? That kind of things. No way it will be helpful for us while writing NEET examination. Only thing, you should focus on the wide number of parasites and their causatives and their mode of transmission. For some diseases, symptoms also. Okay, let's take a brief of this particular. Mosquito bites another human being. Because it's a cycle here. From where we should start somewhere else. I started from here. When mosquito bites a human being, the sporozoites enters into that particular human being that begins the life cycle of Plasmodium in human being. The parasite reaches to the liver, there they complete the liver shejaguni. Then after the completion of liver shejaguni, they enters into the blood. In liver, in the blood, whatever the cycle they are going for, there is a sexual reproduction, which are going to produce the merozoites. That asexual reproduction in liver cells is called as liver shejaguni, and that bursting of the liver cells release that particular stages like micrometacryptozoites of the pre-erythrocytic shejaguni of liver shejaguni. The exerythrocytic shejaguni of liver shejaguni is going to release the cryptozoites and micrometacryptozoites respectively. As what I am saying, that number, that names is not at all much important for us. We need to just learn the path of this parasite. So when it reaches in RBC, erythrocytic shejaguni we say. When they are doing erythrocytic shejaguni in RBC, the Plasmodium is doing erythrocytic shejaguni in RBC, that release a chemojoin by the release of the RBC, the rupture of RBC whenever the merozoites are releasing, that hemojoin granules will release, and that causes the fever and other symptoms here. The gametocytes, then they become, after all the completion of erythrocytic cycle, they become gametocyte like micro and macro gametocyte. At this time, they reaches to the mosquito. When mosquito bites the patient, these stages will reach, maybe all stages, but only these stages will survive there. There, female mosquito sucks the blood with gametocyte, then there the fertilization and development in mosquito's intestine it takes place. Okay, they say intestine, isn't it? In NCRT, you'll find this word intestine. Exact will be crop. But no matter here, that's what we are talking about. You may dislike while reading these kind of things in NCRT because you people learn in state text a lot, but that no way will be helpful because questions will come from NCRT only. The mature infection stages, sporozoites escape from the intestine. They are formed after the fertilization and sporogony process, then migrate to the mosquito, into the salivary glands of mosquito. Then when this kind of mosquito bites another human being, the sporozoites will reach. That means things to remember here: infective stage of Plasmodium to man, sporozoite stages. Infective stage of Plasmodium to mosquito, gametocytes. Type of reproduction, human being, asexual reproduction. Type of reproduction they perform, Plasmodium perform in mosquito, that is sexual reproduction. That's all. These are the enough information here about the Plasmodium. So then let's come with the amoebic dysentery. Entamoeba histolytica is the pathogen. The mode of transmission is contamination, we say, through the food and water. Then when we say food and water, our mechanical vectors will come into the mind. Anything like typhoid, as we said earlier, amoebiasis now, ascaris coming, that whatever mechanical vectors will be helpful for the contamination process. In this particular case, houseflies and cockroaches, we say mechanical vector. What are the symptoms of entamoeba histolytica disease, amoebic dysentery? Constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, presence of mucus and blood clots in the stool, that we say amoebic dysentery. Let's come to the HELMINTH diseases. Ascariasis. Ascaris is an intestinal parasite. The mode of transmission is like contamination here also. That eggs, that rhabdiform larva. That no matter. That we are not going that kind of detail. Then symptoms include internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, blockage of intestinal passage. That thing to remember. Ascaris, cause ascariasis, it is an intestinal parasite. Mode of transmission is through contamination, contaminated food and water. When we say a word called contamination, you should involve the mechanical vectors like houseflies and cockroaches. They also do some help. Okay, filariasis, elephantiasis. If you remember, this kind of photograph of NCRT text came in examination. That they ask here that what is the causative for this kind of disease. Okay, so that means NCRT text don't want to make you doctors in intermediate level only. Then what are the symptoms? What is every stage of life? Not like that. Just they'll ask you what is a parasite, what is the disease, and how it transmits. Whether you have this basic information or not. Okay, so filariasis, elephantiasis. We say the filarial worm. With that, Eukarya bancrofti and Eukarya malai. Mode of transmission by the bite of female Culex mosquito. Earlier, Plasmodium is the female Anopheles mosquito. The mode of transmission by bite of female Culex mosquito. The symptoms include the filarial worms live in lymph vessels, usually of lower limbs. It causes a chronic inflammation of the organs in which they live for many years. Deformed limbs and genital organs. Okay, so this is the information you need to remember. If you remember two more words, inflammation in the lymphatic vessels is called lymphangitis. Inflammation in the lymphatic organs, the tissues, we say lymphedema. These are the cases here. The scrotum and the legs, forelimbs or hind limbs will get this kind of disease, the filarial worm. Okay, so moving on to the fungal diseases, the ringworm infection, that the Microsporum trichophyton epidermophyton. Microsporum trichophyton epidermophyton. That's going to cause, they are called ringworms. Then how it transmits from the soil or by using towels, clothes, comb of that particular person who get affected with this ringworm infection. It's there in the name. You see the rings. Appearance of the dry, scaly lesions on various parts of the body, such as skin, nails, and scalp. That intense itching you'll find here in this particular case. Of the parasite causative, you need to remember. Microsporum, trichophyton, and epidermophyton. You can see in the scalp like this. Photographs of Microsporum, trichophyton, epidermophyton. Fungal infection it is. The filaments you can see. Here it is, in the groin. Okay. Other infectious diseases. As we have seen till the time that bacterial, viral, protozoan, and helminth fungal diseases here. So they are the main and most happening questions in case of examination. Along with that, some more famous diseases. At least we need to remember the names of them. So that I am showing here. More details if you want. If you want to go for more other number of diseases, as I said to you, there is another video that you can watch that I will send you today. Dysentery, Shigella species, pathogen. Okay, transmission, contact, contaminated food and water. Dysentery, Shigella species. Plague, the Pasteurella pestis, rat flea. Okay, I usually say generally, I am saying from the beginning, should not go from NCRT, should go involve in the NCRT. So when we say like that, we'll have some exceptions. We have exceptions like genetics, then human health and diseases. In this area, we have a little exception. That means they are who are most famous or most general, that they can be asked as a question. Like environmental issue also, that we have a live example where that World Ozone Day asked over. We don't find that ozone day in text, but ozone effect is there in the text. So in that way, we can say that is on syllabus. In this also, you need to know that particular diseases which are spreading all over. You may get coronavirus also in examination because they are the general issues. That's why when diseases come, that nobody will ask over what kind of canal system in Euspangia, Ascan, Sycon, Leucon, in Leucon, Euripilus, Apodal, Diploidal. These kind of in-depth questions you don't get in animal kingdom. So that's why I didn't say when I said that particular area. But when it comes here, the bacterial, viral, and protozoan helminth, which are most happening, not only listed in text, that most happening questions in the world, most happening diseases of the world at the India, they can be asked as a question. Okay, plague, Pasteurella pestis, rat fleas, diphtheria, Corynebacterium diphtheriae, contaminated food and direct contact. Cholera, Vibrio cholera, the food and water contaminated with feces. Tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, droplets from patient or carrier. Tetanus, Clostridium tetani, contamination of wound by bacterial spores. Whooping cough, Bordetella pertussis, contact droplets. Leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae, direct contact. Anthrax, Bacillus anthracis. Okay, so these are the bacterial diseases, some of the bacterial diseases. Now, let's take viral diseases, which are very famous. Rabies, which cause pathogen is rabies virus, transmission through rabies, rabbit, that means rabies affected dogs, we say. Dengue virus. Aedes aegypti, the mosquito, biting of mosquito, Aedes aegypti. Aedes, make it out, generic name. Influenza virus, coughing and sneezing, the transmission. The measles, rubella virus, droplets. German measles, rubella virus, close contact, transmission method. Then mumps virus, okay, airborne droplets we say. Chicken pox, varicella zoster, airborne droplet. Smallpox, variola virus, direct contact. Polio virus. Chikungunya, chick virus, Aedes aegypti, mosquito, Aedes mosquito. That Anopheles, Culex, Aedes. That is series of mosquitoes, what do you say? Those who have piercing and sucking mouth parts. Avian flu, H5N1, contact with infected poultry and airborne spread. H1N1, swine flu, that H1N1 causative, contact with the pig's cough. Let's take a complete picture of this particular here. Let me go for the read the one more time, that it will be helpful to you for just I read now only the disease and pathogen. Bacterial diseases, dysentery, Shigella species, plague, Pasteurella pestis, diphtheria, Corynebacterium diphtheriae, cholera, Vibrio cholera, tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, tetanus, Clostridium tetani, whooping cough, Bordetella pertussis, leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae, anthrax, Bacillus anthracis, viral diseases, that when it comes rabies virus, dengue virus, influenza virus, measles, rubella virus, German measles, rubella virus, mumps virus, chicken pox, varicella zoster, smallpox, variola virus, polio virus, poliomycetes, chikungunya, chick virus, avian flu, H5N1, H1N1, swine flu, H1N1 we say, that will get match the following from this area. We get match the following. This just showing some diagrams for you. Bacillary dysentery, Shigella species will be seen like this. Plague, block death we say, because the photograph you can see why it is called black death, you can understand. Pasteurella pestis. Talking about diphtheria, pathogen, Corynebacterium diphtheriae we say. Cholera, Vibrio cholera. Tetanus, Clostridium tetani. You can see the photograph of that particular tetanus. Clostridium tetani. Tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, TB. Bacterial photograph is there. Whooping cough, pertussis, causative, Bordetella pertussis. Leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae, now completely eradicated in India. Anthrax, Bacillus anthracis, created sensation one time. Now sensation is corona. Bacillus anthracis. Rabies, pathogen, rabies virus. Why the dog bite it will come. Influenza virus. So nowadays people will immediately recognize it. This as a virus, but any of these kind when they see immediately they say that is coronavirus. Measles, rubella, pathogen rubella virus. Measles, rubella virus. German measles, the pathogen rubella virus. Mumps virus. Chicken pox, varicella zoster. Smallpox. Chickenpox, smallpox are separate actually. Variola virus. Then polio, pathogen polio virus. Dengue fever, breakbone fever, we say. So these also ruled some period of time earlier. Breakbone fever. Now also there, but now is a corona season. Chikungunya, the chikungunya virus, chick virus. Dengue and chikungunya. Sometimes some time period they ruled. H5N1, avian flu virus. that he also ruled it that chicken sales reduced at the time. H1N1, swine flu, recent times, H1N1. Okay, so these are all the parasites. And how do we control this particular? The prevention and control of diseases. The personal hygiene, keep the body clean, consume clean water, food, and the public hygiene like properly disposing wastes and excreta, the clean and disinfect water reservoirs, pools, cesspools, tanks, observe the standard practices of hygiene and public catering, avoid contact with the infected persons or their belongings to control the airborne diseases, particularly eliminating vectors like mosquitoes, whatever that a female anopheles or female culex or that Aedes aegypti, whatever the mosquito it is. Like so many other mosquitoes, not only mosquitoes, some house flies are also like CC fly, Glossina palpalis, sand fly, Phlebotomus argentipus. They are also much famous here in the spreading of diseases like Trypanosoma gambiense and Leishmania donovani. Likewise, just what we our focus is in India, mosquitoes only. CC fly, sand fly are rare here. The control and elimination of the vectors, mosquitoes, avoid stagnation of water, regular cleaning of household coolers, use of mosquito nets. That introduce the larvivorous fishes like this is the question. Gambusia in ponds, exotic fish this is, not available in India, not local, should bring it out from outside. Introduce larvivorous fishes like Gambusia in ponds. Spraying insecticides in ditches, drainage areas, swamps. Use wire mesh for doors and windows to prevent entry of mosquitoes. All these are general issues. You people know this. This is a formality from me. These precautions are important to avoid vector-borne diseases like malaria, filariasis, dengue fever, chikungunya. What is common among all them? They are all vector-borne, mosquito. Okay, so that's it about the particular human health and disease, part one. And let me go for the part two.